Right, we're trying to move onwards and upwards, be positive, despite the weather being crap, and it is starting to get a bit tiresome living in the van. It's the 1 year anniversary now of living in the van full time. I'm trying to be positive. I don't want to make very negative videos like the last Norco video, but mountain bikes generally have loads of problems and suck still, so that's what happens. Maybe I should get into motorbike testing and I'll probably have way more fun, spend less money and have less hassle. This video is the real reason why I bought this Norco Shore. The reason was to turn it into an enduro bike of the future, an even better version of the Nikolai G1 Ultimate I built last year, which is my vision of the ultimate enduro bike. 210mm travel front and rear, mullet wheels, nearly unbreakable, all the strongest, best, most reliable parts. Upside down fork for better tracking, the biggest, toughest Hope brakes I could find with the vented rotors with a braided cable. It was an nearly unbreakable, unbeatable machine that could do anything. A real mountain bike. I hate mountain bike categories: trail, freeride, enduro, all mountain, most of it's marketing bullshit. That's a mountain bike in my eyes. It's a mountain bike. I did a 110km XC ride during lockdown last year. I did a downhill race on it. I rode enduro on it. I pedalled up hills, I shuttled, I chucked it in the back of the van, I smashed it into things, I jumped off things. Missed a couple of beats, but overall it was an absolute beast of a bike. A proper mountain bike in my eyes. No lightweight crap that causes you mechanical problems and means you have to walk out of the woods for an hour with your broken bike. And this Norco has got the potential to be better than that because it's got a high pivot and I ride flat pedals, and I think one of the main advantages of a high pivot bike is if you're a flat pedal rider, makes your life a lot easier to keep your feet on the pedals. So what was the plan? 200mm travel, mullet, extra long dropper post, brakes at work, tuned suspension, all that good stuff. Some people might ask, why would you want such long travel for enduro? If you've done any enduro World Series or listened to pros who have gone from World Cup downhill to enduro World Series, they'll quite often say something like the trails are as hard as World Cup downhill or harder. And I think the reason why you want more travel is the trails are hard and the trails are much longer than a World Cup downhill. Some of them like 15 to 20 minutes. The best result I ever had at an EWS was 43rd in La Tuile. That was over 2 days and about, I think, 10,000 meters of descending and about 700 or 800 climbing each day. All lift accessed. Some of the trails were 15, 18, 20 minutes long of just brutal, steep, rough, gnarly downhill, and you only get to do one practice run. So you're hitting stuff blind, you're trucking into corners blind, trying to remember what was on the other side, and you're just smashing stuff. So you want the most travel to absorb those things when you're on your limits and your heart rate's at 190 for 18 minutes. Now people are going to say a long travel bike can't pedal efficiently, but I proved this with my Nikolai G1. Good shock tune, good bike setup, a few of the little tweaks. You can have 210mm travel and sprint as hard as you can, standing up, and it doesn't move. So in my mind, the travel doesn't make a difference to the efficiency of the bike. People think enduro bikes need to be more efficient because you have to pedal to the top, which is not timed. You're timed on the descents. And if your suspension doesn't move at all when you pedal, it doesn't matter if you got 5mm of travel, 200mm of travel, or 500mm of travel. It's the same thing. And the suspension essentially doesn't weigh anything. If you take most forks, the lowers, the crown steerer upper, the damper and the air spring are all the same. There's just a slight adjustment in the air spring, or you add or remove spacers to change the travel. But if it's a 140mm lyric or 180mm lyric, it's the same thing, same weight. And rear shocks are just a little bit longer. If you've got a coil, you might have 1 or 2 extra coils of spring, and the damper tube might be a bit longer. Everything else is the same. And dual crown fork. We've now got 190mm travel single crown forks, which I'm sure is purely for marketing reasons, and lots of 180mm travel enduro forks, and they have problems all the time. Any video you watch, they're flexing like this, like mad. The CSUs creak all the time. They're doing crazy engineering to improve this interface. We've got a 1.8 headset standard coming soon, which means you've all got to change your frame and your headset and your fork, and just because more nightmares with standards. And yeah, loads of CSUs creak and they get replaced under warranty all the time, and they just go in the bin just because something creaks. What a waste of the world's resources. Make it a dual crown, it's stiffer, which we always told is the most important thing, again, by the marketing teams. It's stiffer, you've got more space to put the damper, more space to fit the spring or the air spring. It's better when you crash because the forks don't spin all the way around, and you've got less risk of breaking your levers off or scratching your top tube with your brake levers. Or the bike companies don't have to engineer stupid knock block headsets or put in knock block things on the frame because the single crown fork's going to hit it. To me, it makes no sense. It's just fashion style marketing. But the main benefit of a dual crown is the massively improved stem top crown direct mount interface, which massively improves your stiffness, a very important part of the bike. A normal steerer tube is really flexy when it's got an 800mm lever handlebar attached to it. Direct mount stem makes it way stiffer. If you're seeing the Intend Stiffmaster, which sort of solves this problem on a single crown, that was my idea. I was talking to Cornelius Capfinger about it. I was convinced that dual crown forks are better, even for any kind of riding. And he agreed, and he said he'd built a dual crown and a single crown fork, identical, damper, air spring, travel, offset, everything. And even though it was identical, it was always more confident on the dual crown because you get much more precise, confident steering and front end. So yeah, long travel single crowns, total bullshit in my opinion. Just put a dual crown on it, get on with it. That's enough talking, let's get to the bike. Now hopefully Matt, the mechanic, survived the night, another night in the garage. He looks mostly alive. So this is Matt, he survived another night in the garage, just about. Norco Shore with a full complement of bolts. All the bolts are on. And we're going to start the transformation. We've done a bit of garage tidying this morning. This is Matt's super nice tool wall that he hand sewed himself from leather. PB Swiss tools. I'm not allowed to touch those because I keep dropping them. Upgraded the tool board, had a clean up, got rid of the spiders. Put my old number board collection up. There's some good ones there from when I used to have a little bit of speed, which I don't have anymore. Pretty rad selection of bikes. Banshee, Titan, temporary back wheel on there. Nikolai Argon gravel bike with a pinion and belt drive. That's going to get raffled later in the year. Rad on e-bike, which I haven't done any more testing on because Matt's been using it to ride to his real house and back each day. And the top secret custom made dirt jump bike and the Commensal. So we've stolen the fork off the Commensal to go on the Norco. 29er fork. This guy here, covered in tape from the data system. But this fork is absolutely amazing. It's got the Nigel damper in and the race only springs, coil spring conversion, and damper on the left, not the right, for top secret extra performance. Next thing, we've got some old bits of drivetrain that I found in a box. So we're going to upgrade the drivetrain to 11 or 12 speed. I'm not sure if any of this actually works. I do like this Jaguar metal cable, which I had this drivetrain on my Nikolai last year. I was trying to make a 7-speed wide range drivetrain with an unbreakable, uncrushable gear outer. Got some little Rulesman stickers to write our settings down. The last pair of Formula brakes from my recent raffle. So Darius in Poland chose the black ones, and Peter in UK chose the silver polished. So I'm left with these gold ones. Again, Cura X carbon lever to save weight, because weight is very important. Kevlar hoses, these are much tougher, should be much tougher than the standard ones. The left over from the raffle, two 203mm trick stuff Dackley rotors, and the reason I like these are they're extra thick, 2mm or 2.1mm, 2.05mm. They've got the chamfered edge, so it just makes it a little bit easier to put your wheel in. Spank 25-30mm stem, new. I bought the last 4 of those. I bought all the stock from Bike 24 before anyone else got to them. SQ Lab 30X stem, medium height, 12-degree back sweep. My favourite tyre to go on the front with 29er. Let's go mullet, Enduro mullet. And bottle cage, because it's impossible to ride a bike for more than 4 minutes without a bottle. Fidlock and the one-up tool pump. So we should have all the tools on the bike we need. Yeah, we've already installed the 200mm or 213mm bike yoke dropper. This is a big boy, haven't used this yet. It's 34.9. It's all scratched in the back from the badly reamed seat tube. But this should be extra smooth and extra reliable because it's a much bigger tube diameter than the other ones, although I've never ever had a problem with any bike yoke dropper. So this should be even more reliable than perfectly reliable. We're also going to change the cranks, but these are non-self-extracting crank bolts and a really old school crank extractor system. I don't have the tool. We put some nice bits of paint on here with a paint pen so we can see when the bolts are falling off. And the only other thing we're going to do is, I was going to try this on the Canyon and I got scared because there wasn't enough steering circle. We're going to put these crowns on backwards to have shorter offset. So with 29er fork, it'll be 38mm offset because it'll be -20. These are 10mm. Turn it around, be 20mm shorter, -10 at the crown. That's it, let's go. So I got a little visitor at the farm this afternoon, Rulesman suspension.
Hey, what's up guys? Yeah, I'm doing track walk, trying to kill myself and maybe break one knee, doing the track walk down here in the first track at the Port Aston bike farm, and yeah, it's crazy. It's off camber everywhere, on slippery routes, slippery rocks.
Oh God! Oh my fucking! Oh my! YouTube fame or nothing. Oh my!
It's crazy stuff. So much tight. He measured the width of the trees like 780/790. That your handlebar goes through really precise. You have to do little bunny hop and twist the handlebar to pass within the trees. And yeah, he's the man. Yeah, I'm really shocked how difficult are these lines.
Would you ride it on the gravel bike with all the bags on it?
No, definitely not, man. No, definitely not. Yeah, let's go the track walk before I die here.
Dave said it's World Cup level. So this is the drop test. You have to start there, let the brakes off, through these trees, which are just bar width, basically. No brakes. Get your speed up. And then Dave's down there.
Yeah, that's me. 1m80 plus probably 60, like 220, I would say 210, 220. Yeah. But when I've seen his video over the internet, I thought, yeah, just a normal hard hack to flat test. But now I'm here and I've seen the feature and it's massively crazy. So I'm just going away. It's crazy.
Are you happy with how your Meza and Kitsuma absorbed it on the Banshee?
Yeah, I was happy. Yeah, man. But yeah, from real, this thing here is so massive. Yeah, You are really crazy, man. Yeah.
And then
Good
you just
job.
crash into the wall of the house there. I'm an idiot. Right, we're back. It's dark and late now, but the bike's sort of finished. My Enduro bike of the future. This is a new version of my Nikolai G1 that I built last year. This is work in progress, proof of concept, so it's not finished. We've used a bunch of used old parts and whatever parts we had lying around to get to this stage. Tomorrow we're going to ride it. A quick overview: SQ Lab saddle, bike yoke 230mm dropper 34.9, push on grips, Formula Q X brakes with the Kevlar hoses, carbon levers for saving weight, and titanium bolts. SQ Lab bar, 12-degree back sweep, medium rise. I want the high rise ideally, but we only have medium, so we did jack up the front as high as we could. 29er Boxxer from the Commensal, race only coil spring in the right hand leg, customised NSR Racing damper in the left leg. We changed the rotors to the Trick Stuff Daily, standard rear tyre on the back, but we did change to a Newman wheel, which is pretty battered but still going strong, so we could fit the cassette to the XD driver to have 12 speed. We've got this metal gear cable, which will be extra tough. I just sort of fancied trying it. We've gone old school with the cable routing here because we sacked off the internal cable routing because it's just annoying and doesn't add any performance, and now we've run the cables under here. Bit of a bodge at the moment, but we've got some ideas. Again, proof of concept. 29 front, 27 rear, mullet, dropped a spring rate on the rear, fidlock bottle cage because you can't actually go mountain biking unless you have 500ml of water attached to your bike, otherwise you just can't go, it's illegal. One-up tool, pump, all that stuff. I think it looks pretty good, I'm happy with it. Like I say, stage 2, stage 3 is going to be pretty special. If the bike can handle a weekend of riding and stay in one piece, then we're going to keep moving the project forwards. I'm happy with it. 61.4, perfect. And I know most people are really focused on weight. I don't really care about weight, but my Nikolai G1 article, all the questions were about weight, even though I thought I was building a futuristic bike with my own money, with my own time, something that big brands would never invest into that concept, even just to try it. And I did everything to make the most amazing 210mm downhill enduro beast the world's ever seen. But how heavy is it? It was pretty heavy because I had to make it all myself. This one, £34 in this setup with the pedals and the bottle cage and pump. £34, that's 15 kilos. So yeah, it's light as hell. So it's going to fly up the climbs and bomb down the descents if all the bolts stay connected. So yeah, we've got the tools on. Hopefully racing some enduro races on this in the winter, and if they've got long stages, during the time stages, quick stop and check all the bolts on the way down. And I'm only going to lose like 30 seconds in a 5-minute run, so yeah, easy. Satire aside, we're going to ride it this weekend and ride it with the Banshee as well. The Banshee's working again. For a few weeks off the bike, we're back to testing, which is fantastic. Again, if you like what I'm doing, my new raffle skill-based competition giveaway site is live now, link in description. And you can buy tickets for a Nikolai G16 Mojo frame with a nice story behind it, explained on the site. The next one coming up is Commensal. So yeah, all positive, everything's moving forward. The bike farm is coming into fruition. Hopefully this bike's going to provide a great riding day experience tomorrow. We will see.